Alright, so today we get opportunity to work in a nice heated space. But what I'm going to be working on today is replacing the belt for the snow thrower that's on the front of this John Deere 214. And I have reason to believe that it's slipping a little bit because it doesn't take much snow to clog up the chute there. You can see that I upgraded to a taller chute. And I've got some new cables, and you can see my other videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. I did the flapper modification, and I think one thing I did not do since I picked up this snow thrower was to actually replace the belt. So we're gonna tackle that and see what it takes to get to that belt. Question is this snow thrower a 37 or a 37A? I don't really know, because if you look at the model number, whatever E2102 is, I'm not entirely sure. I called my local John Deere dealer and talked to the gal there, and she wasn't sure what it was either, because she pulled it up, tried to pull it up on her computer and found nothing. So what we're going to do is take the belt off, and we're going to see about bringing the belt in, see if we can get a match. In order to get the belt off, though, we're going to have to take the side cover off there and get that yellow stuff out of the way. So let's dig into it and see what we can do. Alright, so what I use to keep the fabric together during the winter time, because these snaps are long since gone and falling apart, is I take just little little cable ties, zip ties, whatever you want to call them, and run them through the holes. So in this case, I just cut them, pull it aside, tuck this under, and the wiring for my lights right here, I just use bullet connectors, so we could just disconnect those, get the light cord out of the way, and then we'll open the hood. Alright, now we want to have access to under here, so we're going to start pulling bolts out and get that side cover off. Alright, looks like a couple different sizes of nuts and bolts. Maybe I can get away with just 3. I do believe somebody used a 10mm bolt for that size. Over here. right, there we go with that. Let's take that, figure out how to get this off of there. I only see one bolt, so let's see what happens when we take that off. That's a 5/8, 9/16. Oh, there's another one on the bottom. Under here. Gotta get a wrench on that one. So what we're after right now is, you saw I took that bolt out of the top. Way down underneath here is another nut that I need to get at. I think it's a 9/16. And it's on there pretty good. Alright, nut, washer, and you'll see here, there's a bolt right there, and that lifts out. Alright, let's take a closer look at this thing. We've got 3 pulleys, and of course the drive from the PTO from the lawnmower. You think one of these would be a tension? Some tension on there? Alright, if I'm seeing this right, this spring right here is pulling down on this, which is providing tension on this pulley. So when this, I don't know, I'm guessing, snowblower goes up and down, it's always providing tension. So let's just see if we can work that belt off of there. You see now here, we need to remove this, and I think we gotta push this backwards so it can release this way. Okay, like I said, pull this, spin that out of the way, and then this whole thing pushes backwards. And that way you can get the belt off. There we go. And right here. There we go. So keep in mind that this has got a lot of tension on it. When that spring back there, if you have to release it, everything's pretty smooth. Alright, well, I got the belt off. Let's go find a new one. Alright, so looking at the old belt here, I can see an imprint of a number. It looks like an M44272, and I believe that is the belt that a 37A snowblower calls for. So that made it easy. Alright, so it was just a moment for you, but it's been a couple of days for me. I was able to get over to my John Deere dealer, and as you saw, that the old belt here had the number M44272. So I've got the same belt here, the M44272. According to my research, this belt should work on a 37 or a 37A snow thrower. So we're going to put this new belt on. So before I do that, I don't know if you guys noticed when I took the old belt off, this wheel here that provides tension, because of that spring there, it was kind of locked in place and then it snapped up. So I don't want it to be locked in place. I want it always to be free flowing, you know. So what I'm going to do is put some lubricant back here and make sure that this is it's a pretty tight spring. I can't do that with one hand, but let me get some lubricant down there and make sure that that moves up and down freely. Okay. I think we're golden. Let's get that belt on. Alright, now to get the new belt on, I know that we have to go behind this big gear here, and then we're going to come up and around this, and on this side it's going to come up this way. So let's unravel this thing. There we are with the new M44272. There's a nut on the back side of this that we got to slip past. There we go. All right. And then all right. Oh, slipped off. Right, so there we are there. Now if we come over here, alright, and you'll see that came down quite a bit. There's good tension on that now. And we'll back over here. Now this shaft right here coming from the engine, there's slots on the top and the bottom, and what that's for is you slide this back in place and then push it forward, and the slots allow it to lock in here. Now with that in place, flip this back up and you're golden. Now we put the tins back on, and I think we're ready to move some snow. Alright, so here is the tin. It's going back on. There's a bolt at the bottom there. put it through the hole down there, line up the hole up here, nut and washer. Excuse me, that's a bolt and washer at the top. And there's a nut and a washer on the bottom. And let's get a wrench and tighten those up. Alright, so we got a 7/16 wrench. And that's back in place. Alright, we'll give it a little grease here. And let's fire it up. Alright, there we go. Now, does it spin any faster than it did before? I don't know. Is it going to be better when it hits a chunk of snow? A little bit more power behind it? Well, I'm guessing that it will be, but got no snow to practice on right now. But anyway, I do feel better about replacing that belt. It was clearly in better shape than the one that I took off. And now we're just waiting for some snow so we can go back out and play. All right. Hey, thanks for watching.